Ruff show, once again. This is my hair. If you like it, awesome. If you don't like it, fuck you. Anyway, let's get into the topics of today. If this was a real channel, I would probably have topics on the screen right now and the list of the topics. What did I want to talk about today? There was something I wanted to talk about. Right. I saw The Disaster Artist. It's a great movie. Interestingly enough, Tommy Wiseau, which I should know because I read the book, The Disaster Artist, was shocked that The Room got so much laughter in the premiere. To be honest, that movie has unfortunately stood the test of time. It should have been dead many years ago, but it's still there. It still has basically events. There are even events here in Toronto, and if you don't know where I live, it's Toronto, Ontario, Canada. No, Toronto is not a state. Toronto is a city, and it's in the province of Ontario for all you Americans watching this. And if you aren't American, hi! Where are you from? If you are American, hello. Wonder if you have anything in common with Margot Robbie, because according to this YouTuber, which I didn't need to open Google Chrome for, her name is, and I will attach the link to this video because I'm enjoying it. What? Where is her name? This is so weird. Oh, right. Rebecca Felgate. I don't think you can mispronounce that. Decided on November 18th, 2017. So, quite, I guess, recently. Because we are now into June of 2018. Okay, maybe not very recently. This is last year. Anyway, point is, she's been doing these videos, and each video is, well, she's done a lot of videos, but some of these videos are of the different celebrities in each Hogwarts house, which I completely approve of because it's good. In the Slytherin one, she then disproves some people who think they are in Slytherin. Like, for example, somebody thought that Donald Trump should be in Slytherin, and J.K. Rowling said, no, you have to receive the letter. And then she does like a Slytherin thing, and I'm thinking to myself, but J.K. Rowling is from Gryffindor. So her doing the Slytherin thing is just making J.K. Rowling seem like she's from Slytherin. And she's not. I mean, she's the creator of the Harry Potter series, so she gets to choose whatever damn house she belongs in. I wonder if she took Pottermore. I mean, why would she, since she invented it? But if she did, I would be curious to know if she actually got sorted into Gryffindor. But given that she's J.K. Rowling, writer of the Robert Galbraith series, great series, by the way. There's also this show, Cormoran Strike. 3 episodes so far. They're going to do a 4th, apparently, because she's going to write a 4th book, which I'm very encouraging because of the fact that the 3rd one ended, in my view, inappropriately. And I don't want to explain that because then I'd ruin the book for you, but let's just say it ends on a cliffhanger. And it shouldn't. And my favorite scene in that series was the car crash that doesn't happen in the show, which really disappointed me because that was probably one of the best described scenes J.K. Rowling has ever written. I mean, she's written a lot of books. She's written all of Harry Potter, which, if you don't know, are 7 novels series, obviously. And then she wrote the Robert Galbraith series, which is Cormoran Strike. So I guess it's not really the Robert Galbraith series, even though that's her pseudonym. Sorry for ruining it. Not that people didn't know that anyway. Point is, she did the series, and I read the first one. I enjoyed it. For me, detective crime is something you have to be very talented in. So for someone to just pursue detective fiction, you've got to have the knack for detective fiction. Someone like J.K. Rowling, anything she serves, even if it was shit, people would eat for breakfast. So, yeah. But anyway, point is, she wrote this series. The Cuckoo's Calling is a great book. Highly recommend. Did I know who the killer ended up being? No, I didn't. And that is what makes a good detective novel. If you figure out who the villain / killer is before the book ends, that doesn't mean it's a bad book. It just means that the writer didn't do its one job as a crime fiction writer, which is to pull the wool over your eyes and mislead you to a whole different character. And you basically bank yourself on that character to discover that you're wrong. Now, not everyone has the talent to do that. I mean, you have to be very clever. You have to leave the little red herrings, as detective writers tell you. And if you don't know what a red herring is, it's like sort of a kind of hint / clue to the person. Sherlock Holmes basically runs on red herrings. Like, his entire operation is him figuring out this person. And just by their little features, you know, the fact that they flick dust off of their shoulder with their right hand or left hand. This is my left hand. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Wow, that's embarrassing. Anyway, point is that this video is almost 7 minutes. We're at 6:29. I know because it's counting. Anyway, where was I? Right, Robert Galbraith. So, I, for one, have always loved Harry Potter. Still do. I even have Harry Potter glasses, which we will put on now, just to emphasize Harry Potter, I guess. Superman got on me. Yeah, we're not going to sing that song. By the way, whoever the hell sings that song, which I can probably figure out because I have it on iTunes. Why do I have it on iTunes? Why do I have the song? I didn't buy it. I only buy songs I like. Not that anyone needs to know that. Superman got... It's by Charlie Puth, or Puth. It's Puke, in my opinion. But the song is funny. That's the only reason I have it. Anyway, yeah, I was hearing it recently before I started this video. Anyway, look, I'm Harry Potter with a beard! Can Harry grow a beard? Daniel Radcliffe can, so yes. Anyway, what was my point? Right, so J.K. Rowling, I've always thought would write amazing detective fiction because to me, every single Harry Potter novel is a detective novel, technically, because they have to figure out the clues to the perpetrator. First book, I mean, they don't really know who Nicholas Flamel is, so they look him up. And I'm not going to ruin it, but it's kind of obvious who it turns out to be. Anyway, yeah. Each book is to me, detective exploration. Maybe not detective fiction, because it wouldn't be classified into that. It'd be classified under fantasy. Not sci-fi, just to, specify that. I don't need to explain what sci-fi and fantasy is. It's pretty explanatory. Some girl thought sci-fi was 2 words. It's not. It's 1 word with a hyphen, because it's science fiction. Idiot. Anyway, we're almost at 10 minutes, and I promise that these videos will be 10 minutes. If we go over, we go over. If we don't, we don't. This is episode 7, I think. I should know, right? Do these episodes. This is embarrassing. Wow, and I have to wait for iMovie to load. It's even more embarrassing. Now I realize I shouldn't have uploaded that. Ugh, crap. Maybe it tells me. It doesn't tell me. I'm pretty sure this is episode 7. But let's make sure I'm right. Oh my god, we're almost at 10 minutes and this is what I'm doing? This is embarrassing as fuck. Movies! The Ruff Show! It is episode 7! I was right. Hating all of you who thought I was wrong. Anyway, so, yeah, we're gonna go over 10 minutes, obviously. What was the point of this video? Is probably what you're asking. Or what is the point of this channel? Which is probably the next question you're asking. The point of this channel is it's my show. That's all you need to know for now. Why am I wearing Harry Potter glasses if you just suddenly got into this video? Watch the video. Anyway, okay, let's go back to this. So, yes, I've always thought that J.K. Rowling would be an amazing detective fiction writer, and I wasn't proven wrong. I even wrote a letter to her, encouraging her to write detective fiction. Yes, this is a true story. Ironically, it went to the wrong address, because I guess that building closed down. Why the publishing industry closed down, who knows. But then I had to resend it to another publishing company, and it never came back to me, so I'm assuming it got to her. If it didn't get to her, oh well, I tried. Anyway, she wrote detective fiction, the Robert Galbraith series, so I was impressed. The Cuckoo's Calling is very good. Again, I did not know who the killer was. Maybe I'm just not a very good detective fiction writer. Second book was not as good as the first, but that scene that is in the second book with the car crash is absolutely amazing. Now, if I wanted to read it, I would, but that would spoil the book, in my opinion, so I'm not going to. I could find it. It's on my shelf. I have this shelf of books, given that I'm a writer. Every writer needs a library. I don't have a library because not every wall is littered with books, but that is literally in that direction. Yeah, I guess so. To my left, fuck damn it. To my left, Jesus Christ. I don't know my right and my left anymore. That's embarrassing twice. Anyway, to my left, immediate left, I guess, is shelves of books. To my immediate right, there is a selection of dictionaries. Yeah, basically. Enthesaurus, and a phraseology book, and a handbook on literature. Yeah, books for writers, I guess. And to my immediate left is just books for readers and writers. Anyway, so what's the point of this video? You probably are curious. I have a few reasons I created this video. One of the reasons is Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie. Wow. If you don't know who Margot Robbie is, I am very embarrassed for you. If you do know who Margot Robbie is, great. Who is Margot Robbie? She is an actress. She is an Australian actress. And she plays Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, which a lot of people hate, which I love. So, fuck you. I've even got a wallet, which I bought. Right. Anyway, I didn't buy it, by the way. Let's say I am a relocation specialist. If you don't know what that means, then you haven't seen Suicide Squad. If you have seen Suicide Squad, hi, I'm Boomerang with a beard. He kind of has. Anyway, point is that she is in my video because she said that she was in Gryffindor. But she also admitted to cheating on the Pottermore quiz. So is she Gryffindor? No, she isn't. Now, this girl, who I recognized already and now will recognize again, God damn it, too many windows. Rebecca Felgate says that she should be a Slytherin, and I agree. And why do I agree? Not because she's Harley Quinn, but because she cheated on the Pottermore quiz, because she apparently could figure out which answer to Gryffindor, and lo and behold, she got Gryffindor. I'm sorry, but if you cheat on a quiz that's supposed to tell you what house you were in, basically you should just tweet to the sorting house, and then it will just the sorting hat, and it will tell you which house you're supposed to be in. But she didn't do that. She used Pottermore, which is fine, but Pottermore asks you questions. The sorting hat, boom, just sorts you. I have been sorted into many houses because I have many different Twitter accounts, which I will not disclose because it's really none of your business, especially with my Facebook account, which I will not disclose at all because, again, it is none of your business. All right, I'm supposed to have a catchphrase for this show. What was it? I don't give a shit if you watch this? I think that was it. Anyway. So, that's why we're doing the video. Is that the end of the video? No. It's not. I did promise. No, I didn't promise. I wanted to read something from this book. God damn it. Where is it? Well, if I can't find it, I'm not reading it. I can't edit videos. Alright. Yes, okay, this is when he's driving, so he's already... It's a great scene. Great scene. He's in the sky. It's a beautiful scene. I'll even read you my scene. You know, let's read that scene first. Because it's going to take me some time to find that scene, and we might as well do something while this video is processing itself. The Rooster. If you don't know The Rooster, it's my book. It's on Inkit. If you don't know what Inkit is, well, I guess you should search my name, Andy Ruff. That's A-N-D-Y space R-U-F-F-E-T-T. And for some reason, it finally jumped to the last chapter. Ironically, what I love about Pages, and it seemed to disappoint me with, was the fact that it goes directly to the page you were on. And this time it did it. But I think because I've made it a Word file, it doesn't jump to the direct page. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, I wanted to read you something from my book, which is not going to be typed into the page. No. I have to explain that. So, in the book, Arkham Knight, which is backwards, but of course it's going to be reversed, because this is like a mirror video thing. Anyway, point is, in the book Arkham Knight by Marv Wolfman writes about a scene, which I can't find for the life of me. Anyway, point is, he talks about Batman gliding through the air. Batman, here we go. This is not it. But it's almost there. It's gotta be. No. Maybe. No. No, this is when he's in the tunnels. I'm sure it comes after this. Lucius Fox. He's still in his car. This is when he's up in the air. Anyway, there's a scene which I really wish I could find for all of you fabulous people. But it's starting to drive me crazy that I can't. Damn it. There we go. Here it is. So, we'll just give you a bit of a heads up. Batman stood for a moment on the edge of the roof and waited for the wind to pick up again. When it did, he launched himself into the sky and began to fall. But then his cape unfurled into large bat wings. Hidden struts give the wings rigidity, allowing him to catch even the most insignificant breeze and use it to propel himself back up. Oh, I see. Never mind. He doesn't hold on to the struts. They just keep the wings up. That's different. Anyway. So basically, if you don't know, Batman's cape is like a kite. Fortunately, the kite is always up. Batman's cape is not always up. Now, for a little history lesson from the Fact Man, who is also in my book, The Rooster, which I'll explain later. Anyway, the fact of the day, which I guess I could title the episode as, is this. When superheroes were invented, they had capes because their artists couldn't draw people, like legs, arms, and ironically, Deadpool. In the beginning, the artist couldn't draw feet, so he didn't give Deadpool feet. He gave him basically what Spider-Man has. You know, I don't know what you would call it, a pantsuit. Yeah, that's not a pantsuit, though. One of those jogging suits. Whatever, fuck, it doesn't matter. Point is, he couldn't draw feet, and that's how Deadpool sort of evolved into the Spider-Man with guns and knives. Anyway, that's a different story. Anyway, so they couldn't draw people, so they gave the superheroes capes. What was the point of the cape? Literally nothing. There was no point to it. It was just the fact that they couldn't draw people. But Batman is an exception to this cape rule because he doesn't just have a cape so he looks cool as a superhero. Technically, he's not a superhero because he's a human being. A superhero, in my definition, is someone who has superpowers. Batman has no superpowers. His superpower is, according to Ben Affleck, he's rich. Or according to Batman's Ben Affleck, he's rich. But Batman's superpower is his IQ. He's extremely smart. He is also extremely good looking, which is not important. But his superpower is his brain. So any genius, which actually, if you are a genius, you are connected to God, according to the origin of the word, genius, which basically is a prophet. So technically, Albert Einstein was not a genius. Anyway, point is that Batman doesn't have any superpowers. Technically, he's not a superhero. He would fall. There's no such thing as superhero fiction. There's speculative fiction, which would be this. Also, this is a video game novel. So that's basically its own genre. But point being that he has a cape that will just furl into, bat wings. So he can glide. Not fly, but glide in the sky. Or through clouds, whatever. So, there's a scene that I love. Probably the best scene from this book. Also, probably the best scene Marv Wolfman's ever written. Because he also wrote Suicide Squad. Ignore all the little etches. Because that's just me being an idiot. I don't need to look at that. Anyway, he wrote Suicide Squad, the novel, which is probably better than the movie. Yeah, I admit that. And then I picked up this because he also wrote it. And I was playing the video games with my friend Scott. Doesn't have a last name because, again, security reasons. Because he doesn't need to be famous on this YouTube channel. I am. Or I am not. I don't really know how many people watch this. Anyway, I've been probably avoiding this passage for too long. Let's read it again, just so you people know where I was. Batman stood for a moment on the edge of the roof and waited for the wind to pick up again. When it did, he launched himself in the sky and began to fall, but then his cape unfurled into large bat wings. Hidden struts give the wings rigidity, allowing him to catch even the most insignificant breeze and use it to propel himself back up. In the video game, he just flies. He has his arms up like this and just flies. But do you have any idea how painful this would be, depending on depending how long you're in the air? It would suck. At some point, you have to put your arms down. But if his cape naturally unfurls, and he's got these struts to keep them up, then he doesn't have to bloody do it. He could have his fucking hands handcuffed, and he could still fly. Which would be kind of an inconvenience if his hands were handcuffed. But anyway, the point is, Batman can do what I think the animatronic machine, which Bob Kane wanted Batman to wear, would do also, which is he doesn't have to keep his hands up. He can have his hands like this. He can have his hands to his side. Probably I would have my hands to my side. If I need to text somebody, I'd take out my phone from my back pocket. I don't know. Point is, he doesn't need to keep his hands up. In the video game, he does. Birds do this. And bats, fortunately, just have wings. They can't, they can land, I guess. Anyway, I'm not trying to describe bats flying. I'm just trying to describe this passage, which I will read again, because I have technically brain problems today. Batman stood for a moment at the edge of the roof and waited for the wind to pick up again. When it did, he launched himself in the sky and began to fall. But then his cape unfurled into large bat wings. Hidden struts give the wings rigidity, allowing him to catch even the most insignificant breeze and use it to propel himself back up. He loved gliding over the city, because it looked so serene from this high vantage point. The breeze rushing against his face was inviting, invigorating. There was no crime here. There were no enemies, and nobody wanted him dead. I think it's poetic. I think it's beautiful. It's not the best written scene in the world, but it fills my heart. That's all that matters. And here's my scene, which I will read here. Upon heading north, Fred decided to take a detour and glide the exact opposite way, south. It was while he was now flying through the fog that suspended over the RBC building. Through the billowing cloud, he sailed and higher up into the air as he was heading towards the business district of Toronto, where all the skyscrapers were. As Fred got closer, he understood why they were labeled as skyscrapers. They basically scraped the sky. But the view from up here was fantastic. It was a rainy and cold night, but Fred felt very warm in his upgraded suit. Soon he was zooming past the green windowed TD building and back towards the north side of Yonge Street. Oh yeah, and this is the rooster noticing. So Fred is the Black Raven. Marvel doesn't really have to do this, but I do because I'm trying to establish my superhero character who, again, doesn't have superpowers. He's exactly like Batman. Some people think this book will never sell or become the franchise I want it to be because Batman is so much bigger than my character. But as far as I'm concerned, we do not have a Toronto superhero or Toronto hero. We have Captain Canuck, who I don't think is from Toronto. And if he is, well, okay, this is another character. Captain Canuck doesn't have a cape. He's like Captain America. My character is the Black Raven. His villain, or supervillain, is the Rooster. This entire book happens in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Anyway, let's give you the whole thing like I did with the book 3 times. A figure stood in the stairwell beneath... Let's give you the chapter 2. Chapter 48, Creatures of the Night. A figure stood in the stairwell beneath the Smoke's Potoonery close to Simcoe Street and Adelaide Street West. He munched his pulled pork poutine and watched the strange object glide through the fog that engulfed the tall blue RBC building. Nice night for a stroll, the Rooster smiled. Upon heading north, Fred decided to take a detour and glide the exact opposite way, south. It was why he was now flying through the fog, suspended over the RBC building. Through the billowing cloud, he sailed and higher up into the air as he was heading towards the business district of Toronto, where all the skyscrapers were. As Fred got closer, he understood why they were labeled as skyscrapers. They basically scraped the sky. But the view from up here was fantastic. It was a rainy and cold night, but Fred felt very warm in his upgrade suit. Soon he was zooming past the green windowed TD building and back towards the north side of Yonge Street. However, as he sailed home, he began to worry about Alan. The Rooster had already cut up his ex-girlfriend, so what would he do to Alan? Alan had been a friend to Fred when no one else had been there. Of course, he used to have many friends in preschool, elementary school, and high school, but no one he clicked with. Alan McDougal was really the only friend he had left, and he didn't want the Rooster to kill his own friend in any way. I must radio him, thought Fred as he shot past Dundas Square. But when he pressed the button on the helmet that alerted Butler's phone, there was no answer. Damn it! They've already got him. And that's all I'll read. And I think that's the end of the video. I don't think I have anything else to say. No. This episode will be titled Margot Robbie is a Slytherin.